All right, everybody, welcome. This is the first of. I actually haven't named it yet. I've been thinking of a few different
What
things.
are you thinking?
Probably need some help from you
What can I
because
hear?
I really only have one,
Oh, okay.
and it would be like this thing would be called "Getting to Know You, Bridger." Pretty bad, huh?
Bridger is a forced pun.
Yeah.
Better versus bridge.
Yeah.
Getting to know you, Bridger.
You're a Bridger.
Bridger. Getting to know your
You're a
Bridger.
Bridger.
I thought you said getting to know you, Bridger. And Bridger is like this forced pun between better and bridge. Like getting to know you
Yeah, I
better,
can see,
but
yeah.
like trying to make better into. I
Yeah.
was like, oh wow, that's way off. Getting to know your Bridger.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions?
That's perfect.
You think it's perfect?
That's perfect.
Oh wow, we're off to a good start
Welcome to the
already.
first episode of Getting to Know Your Bridger.
This is Nick Goodwin. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, I'm your host,
Yeah.
Andrew Allen.
Perfect. I just wanted to seal it in there.
Thank you. I
Welcome.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like that. But really, this is just something I want to try to do. We're having to get creative with where we're at right now. And so since we won't be meeting for at least 8 weeks, my hope was that in interviewing different people from the community through the week, that it would be a way for us just to remember one another, be praying for one another, and hopefully find some way to stay connected through all this. So, Nick, you're the first.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for volunteering.
High praise.
Awesome.
I'm glad to be here.
First question:
Okay.
What do you got going on right now?
It's I think as a healthcare professional, not a lot for me has changed despite the environment. I'm still seeing clients. I think it's slowed down a little bit, but just kind of I think with nurses in general and providers in general, we're still able to work, still a need to work, and so my work hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids are homeschooled, and so I think the biggest change is that the dance studio that Nicole Samantha and Kathy run isn't going anymore, and so it seems like
That's kind of a big deal for them.
yeah.
Is that under the same kind of restriction right now for like 8 weeks or whatever?
Right.
or-
Yeah. As long as 8 weeks
Okay.
until or they keep looking at it. So the kids are home. I mean, everyone's got less time in that sense. And so-
Yeah. So many people may not know, but can you just tell us about kind of what you're doing? And I know you've had some changes in terms of launching fully kind of launching your own business there. What
Yeah.
is
So
that?
for the last year and a half, I've been trying to start an outpatient psychiatric clinic, and just recently, I've gotten all the insurances, each like a Premera and Medicaid and Medicare. I got them all reimbursing me, and so now I can kind of say, oh, I bet I could do this full time now. So now I'm sort of trying to, I'm teaching and I'm also doing inpatient, and so I'm sort of moving those, either eliminating them or minimizing them, so I can try to do the outpatient full time, and so I can feel like I can kind of focus on one thing.
Yeah, has that been a good transition, scary transition,
Yeah,
both?
all of it. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's always been weird. It's been weird the whole time.
In what way?
It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but trying to create something out of nothing, and probably trying to create something that, most people should prepare for more. Just probably take a class for it. And,
Yeah.
and so you kind of just go and just starting a business and a healthcare business. You just kind of go and learn as you go, and so it's kind of been fun, but it's kind of been weird.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of being able to do something, kind of doing whatever you want to do, and kind of doing something that you can find meaning in, and something that you can do for the rest of your life in a way that I can enjoy this. I have the freedom, the creativity, and it's kind of weird to think of creativity in healthcare, but you can kind of create your own system.
Yeah.
And so that's what's cool about it. What's scary is it isn't kind of on kind of by yourself, or there's people around me who are helping me or who are fabulous, but it's
I know somebody
Uncharted.
that's helping
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
My
Mary.
wife Mary works for Nick, and she's
is working
loving
with
that.
Nick. Yeah, she's helping
Yeah.
me out a lot. It's
Yeah.
fabulous, and I think that's a big reason why it's feeling like, oh yeah, this is going to be very successful.
Wow, that's awesome. She's great at that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
What got you into, as a kid, were you like, I want to be a doctor?
Oh,
I want to
okay.
be in healthcare? Was that always something you wanted to do, or how did that
No,
happen?
I don't know how it happened.
Okay.
I don't know how it happened. I think
Mhm.
that I think that I just sort of went. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question. I mean, there's so many things you can think back. Oh, I did this, and so that led to this. I think it was God. I think that I feel like this is kind of where God wants me to be, and
Yeah.
and this is, this is a passion that He's given me, right? So it's not like I'm like, well, I'm going to sacrifice everything and just follow the Lord. No, He's given me the interests and the abilities, and to sort of get this direction, and I think that there was enough open doors that I was able to kind of get here. My mom worked as a social worker, as a psychiatric social worker. I worked at a camp working with kids, and I think a lot of us like, well, how do I work with people? How can I help them the most? And healthcare made a lot of sense. I met Nicole. I wanted to marry her, and she said we probably got to do something that's going to be financially stable. Nursing seemed really financially stable.
Yeah.
And so it just all seemed to work out.
Yeah,
And
that was awesome.
to this point, I don't think there was ever this like, oh, this is how I see it. I think every 3 or 4 months something changes, and just kind of go with it.
That's really cool, because a lot of people, I think, when it's something like nursing or something like that, maybe that's something they're wanting to do from a young age or something. So
when I was, I don't know if I should joke about it, but I mean, like, a lot of people have something happen with them and their family member.
Yeah.
And something very inspirational happens with a healthcare provider, and they want to be able to be
something
that
like
for other people.
that.
Nothing like that happened with me.
Yeah.
That wasn't my experience. Just fell into it.
Well, I think it's cool that you can see God leading you in that, and then the doors that He's opening for you to care for people and love people in a really practical way. That's awesome.
One time I had to do this. It's because I was like the only nurse practitioner student said yes to make a speech at a scholarship dinner.
Okay.
And there's 4 of us, and the other 3 were nurses, and they all told these incredibly inspiring stories of all the incredible things they went through, or their children went through, health things, you know what I mean? Huge health things. Yeah. And they say, I want to be that nurse. That helped me and my family. I was like, man, this is so inspirational. I had nothing like that.
Yeah, you're just like, I really wanted to get married, and I knew I needed to make some good money. So
I heard nurses made more than social workers. I heard nurse practitioners make more than nurses. And I just believed them.
Yeah.
And no one told me no. That's really inspirational. You guys are amazing. I'm sorry. I just want to apologize. I'm sorry I'm here. You guys are all fabulous.
If you were the only one that volunteered, then they get what they get with something like that.
I was reading the questions like, what led you? And I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. I don't have any of this.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, well, since you are in the medical profession, I know all of us right now are, forming our own opinions, our own thoughts about what's happening right now in the world, and we're trying to do our best to be safe and careful, and hopefully not lose our sanity at the same time. But just wondered if you had any thoughts just about the virus and where we're at, maybe specifically here in Spokane, our community, anything that you have there that might be helpful. Or
I remember talking to my dad like a month ago, and he was telling me how he's not leaving his house. And I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. What do you mean you're not leaving your house? And now none of us are leaving. I guess we're not in our houses now, but and he lives in Seattle, and so they were kind of hit first with it. But it's so hard to have an opinion as a healthcare provider, even as a healthcare provider. But there's so much information, and there's so much that the media wants you to do in order to engage them, but it's hard to criticize this kind of response, because we always criticize our government for not being proactive enough, and this seems pretty proactive. In my opinion, we all seem to think it's pretty proactive. I don't know if anyone's saying we should have done this before, we should have done this earlier. It seems like, and so it seems like, if there's any consequence, it's probably going to be an economic consequence for people who are losing their businesses or not getting paid. And I know that the efforts are, with unemployment or the new surpluses that the government's talking about giving us, probably isn't going to be efficient, but I mean, it's something. So I think if we look at the long-term disbenefits of the economic and the psychiatric, the hurt that people are going to go through versus what would have happened if coronavirus was widespread, it's hard to say. I don't know, but I mean, but I don't know. It seems proactive. It's hard to, like I said, it's hard to have an opinion, and I think a lot of people are going to be really hurting because of this. And so, but I mean, ever more reason to love on people. I guess.
I think we'll have to. It'll be an opportunity for us to figure out a way to love and engage people. And my hope is that, I mean, I really believe, I don't get it on a medical level. You know, but I think I really just have this weird expectation in my heart that God's going to use this to do some real good.